Imagine spending months preparing for your dream wedding, only to cancel it at the altar. Not because you stopped loving him, but because the man you trusted had been hiding something that could destroy your future. The night before her wedding, Evelyn's phone rang. On the line was a trembling voice of a woman she had never met. The woman said only one thing: "Don't marry him. He's already mine." Evelyn didn't sleep that night. By morning, she had made a decision that would shock her entire world. The church was packed. Guests fanned themselves with program. The choir sang, and the groom stood tall at the altar with a smile that could melt hearts. But when the pastor asked Evelyn if she would take him as her husband, she looked him dead in the eyes and said, "I cannot." The whole congregation froze, and what happened next is something no one in that room will ever forget. Before we uncover the truth, take a second to subscribe. The city is always buzzing with life. Traders shouting in the market, children running barefoot after kites made of nylon. In this city, Evelyn lived a simple life. She was 24, soft-spoken, hardworking, and known by friends as the kind of woman who dreamed not of riches, but of a good man and a peaceful home. Her days were divided between work at a local pharmacy and evenings helping her widowed mother. Her dreams were modest: to love and be loved, to build a family of her own. She often prayed for that moment when God would finally open the door to her joy. And then one day love came. Unexpected, sudden, like rain on dry land. It was during a wedding reception of a church member. Evelyn wasn't even supposed to be there, but her best friend, Miriam, had begged her to attend. The hall was full of laughter. The air smelled of fried rice, jollof, and grilled meat, and the music made even the shyest souls tap their feet. While Evelyn was serving drinks to some elderly women, helping Miriam, who was on the organizing committee, a tall man in a well-ironed white kaftan walked up to her. His presence was commanding. His smile was warm. "Excuse me," he said, in a voice that seemed to carry both confidence and charm. "Could I get a bottle of water?" Evelyn handed him one, her eyes brushing against his for just a second, but it was enough. Something shifted. The man introduced himself as Michael. He worked in town, he said, in a government agency. He had only come for his cousin's wedding. Their conversation was short, interrupted by the chaos of the party, but by the end of that evening, Michael found his way back to her and they exchanged numbers. That night, Evelyn lay on her bed staring at the ceiling. Something about his confidence and the way he had looked at her made her chest tighten. She told herself not to read too much into it. Yet, when her phone buzzed with a simple "got home safe," hope you did too, her heart beat faster. Days turned into weeks. Calls became constant. Michael's voice was like honey, assuring, tender, and promising. He told her she was different from anyone he had met. He called her queen. He spoke of his dreams, building a house, traveling, raising children. And Evelyn, innocent and trusting, opened her heart to him. "Are you sure about him?" Miriam once asked, her brow furrowed. "He lives far away. Men in town, they have many lives." But Evelyn dismissed her. "Not Michael. He's serious. You can hear it in his voice." For months, the relationship blossomed across distance, fueled by long phone calls, weekend visits, and constant reassurances. Michael treated her with the kind of attention she had always prayed for. One day, he came unannounced. He bought gifts for her mother, helped fix the leaking roof, and won her family's admiration. Evelyn's mother, who had long worried about her daughter's single state. "Evelyn, my daughter," she said that night, "this man looks like he knows what he wants. Maybe this is the one." Evelyn smiled, her heart swelling. For the first time, she allowed herself to believe it, that she had finally found her forever. Months had passed since Evelyn met Michael. What had started as polite conversations had now grown into a relationship that everyone around them noticed. Michael was consistent. He called every morning before work and every night before bed. He showered her with compliments, told her she was his answered prayer, his peace, his forever. For a girl who had long prayed for companionship, Michael seemed like the answer to her prayers. One rainy evening, he drove down from town without warning. Evelyn was shocked to see his car parked outside her mother's house. "Michael, you didn't tell me you were coming," she gasped, rushing out to greet him. He only smiled, his hand behind his back. "Some things are better done in surprise," he said. Evelyn's heart skipped. She thought maybe he had brought chocolates or a handbag, like he sometimes did. But this time was different. He pulled her into the sitting room, where her mother was seated. Evelyn was puzzled when he asked her to sit down. Then slowly he knelt on one knee and produced a small velvet box. Her breath caught. "Evelyn," he said, his voice steady but emotional. "From the moment I met you, I knew you were the woman I wanted to spend my life with. You are kind, beautiful, God-fearing, and you make me a better man. Will you marry me?" The room went still. Evelyn's mother gasped, covering her mouth. Tears welled in Evelyn's eyes. "Yes, Michael, I will marry you." He slid the ring into her finger. Applause burst from her mother, who had rushed to hug them both. The atmosphere was filled with joy, laughter, and tears of relief. Evelyn thought, "Finally, my prayers have been answered." The news spread quickly. Mariam, her best friend, was the first to hear. She hugged Evelyn tightly, but her smile didn't fully reach her eyes. "I'm happy for you," she said softly, "but please, don't ignore the red flags. Just keep your eyes open." Evelyn laughed off the concern. "Mariam, relax. Michael is not like other men." Preparations began almost immediately. Evelyn's family wasn't rich, but Michael insisted he would handle the bulk of the wedding cost. He sent money, arranged for hall bookings, and even suggested colors. "These colors will make you glow like royalty," he said, during one of their planning calls. Evelyn threw herself into preparations. She visited the tailor for her gown, took bridal photos, and spent nights with Miriam designing invitation cards. She was glowing, and everywhere she went, people congratulated her. "Ah, Evelyn, your own time has come. Michael is a lucky man. This wedding will be the talk of town." Evelyn smiled at every compliment. She felt chosen, cherished, blessed. A week to the wedding, Evelyn received an anonymous call late at night. She almost didn't pick, but curiosity got the better of her. "Hello?" The voice on the other end was female, soft but firm. "Is this Evelyn?" "Yes, who is this?" There was silence for a moment. Then, "I don't know how to tell you this, but the man you're about to marry is already married. He has 3 children. Please be careful." The line went dead before Evelyn could respond. Her hand shook as she dropped the phone. Her first instinct was denial. "No, this must be a lie. Someone is trying to ruin my happiness." But the voice echoed in her head. He is married. He has 3 children. She couldn't sleep that night. Her mind wrestled between trust and doubt. By morning, she decided not to tell anyone, not her mother, not Miriam. She convinced herself it was just a prank. Still, the unease remained. 2 days later, while finalizing the wedding sitting arrangement, Evelyn received another shock. She got a text message from the same anonymous number. "If you don't believe me, here is proof." Attached were pictures, Michael smiling, standing beside a woman and 3 children, family photos, birthday shoots, all recent. Evelyn's knees buckled. The words spun. Her heart pounded as tears blurred her vision. She wanted to scream. She wanted to confront him. But instead, something colder took over. She decided to keep quiet, to pretend nothing had happened. But deep inside, a plan was forming. She reached out to the anonymous number. "Please, who are you?" The reply came swiftly. "I am his wife. Do what you must with this information, but don't let him fool you the way he fooled me." The reply came swiftly. "I am his wife. Do what you must with this information, but don't let him fool you the way he fooled me." Evelyn's heart shattered. The man she had trusted, the man she was about to call her husband, was already bound to another woman and 3 innocent children. The sun rose bright over the city that Saturday. The air was alive with excitement. Drummers were already warming their instruments. Women in emerald green and gold hair ties filled the compound, and the smell of fried rice and pepper soup drifted through the air. Evelyn sat in front of a large mirror, her face painted with bridal makeup. Her gown, white and glittering, clung perfectly. Her friends surrounded her, teasing and admiring. "You look like a princess," one of them whispered. But inside, Evelyn felt like a storm. Beneath the makeup, her heart was heavy. She stared at her reflection and asked herself, "Am I really about to do this? Am I about to marry a man with a wife and 3 children?" Her phone buzzed on the table. Another message from the anonymous number from the wife. "I'm in town. You said you wanted me to come. We are outside with the children." Evelyn swallowed hard. She had told the woman to attend quietly, and the plan she had hatched in secret was about to unfold. By 10 a.m., the church was packed. Guests fanned themselves with programs, the choir sang hymns, and ushers struggled to control the crowd. Michael the groom stood at the altar, tall and proud, his suit freshly ironed. He wore a smile that made people admire him. "Such a fine man," whispered one guest. "Evelyn is lucky." When Evelyn finally walked into the church, the congregation rose in awe. She was breathtaking. Murmurs of admiration swept through the crowd. Her mother cried tears of joy, whispering prayers of gratitude. Evelyn, however, held her bouquet tightly, her eyes cold, her smile faint. The ceremony moved smoothly. The pastor preached about love, commitment, and faithfulness. Michael nodded at all the right times. Evelyn kept her eyes on him, studying the face of a man who had deceived her so deeply. Finally, it was time for the vows. The church grew silent. What happened at the altar next would shock everyone in the room. But before we uncover the truth, take a second to subscribe. Do you, Michael, take Evelyn to be your lawfully wedded wife? Michael smiled broadly. I do. Applause erupted. Then came Evelyn's turn. The pastor turned to her with a warm smile. Do you, Evelyn, take Michael to be your lawfully wedded husband? The room held its breath. Everyone expected a shy but joyful I do. But Evelyn did not speak. Instead, she slowly lowered her bouquet, lifted her face, and said in a voice that rang through the hall, I cannot. Gasp filled the church. The pastor blinked, confused. Michael turned sharply, his smile freezing. What do you mean, Evelyn? He whispered. She turned to the crowd, her voice steady but full of emotion. I cannot marry a man who has hidden the truth from me. Michael is already married. He has a wife and 3 children. The congregation erupted. Shocked voices filled the church. Some shouted, others covered their mouths. Evelyn's mother almost collapsed. Michael froze, his face draining of color. Evelyn, what are you saying? That's not true, he stammered. But Evelyn raised her hand. Don't lie, because I invited them here today. At that moment, the doors at the back opened. A woman in a simple dress walked in, holding the hands of 3 children. The resemblance was undeniable. The children were Michael's. His eyes, his smile, his walk. The church fell into utter silence. Michael's jaw dropped. He staggered back, sweat breaking on his forehead. No, Evelyn, you don't understand. But Evelyn's voice cut like a knife. I understand enough. You wanted to make me your second wife without telling me. You wanted to build your happiness on lies. But today, the truth has found you. The congregation roared with whispers. Some guests shook their heads, muttering prayers. Others looked at Michael with disgust. The woman, his real wife, stood silently, tears in her eyes, clutching her children. Michael fell to his knees before Evelyn. Please don't do this. Don't embarrass me. We can talk about it later. But Evelyn shook her head, tears now streaming down her cheeks. This wedding is over. I would rather walk away in shame today than live in shame for the rest of my life. And just like that, the wedding ended. Guests who had come to dance left in shock. The food sat untouched, the music died, and the bride worked out, not as a wife, but as a woman who chose her dignity over deceit. Outside the church, Evelyn removed her veil and threw the bouquet into the bin. Her mother tried to hold her, crying. Miriam rushed to her side, whispering, "You did the right thing. You did the right thing." But Evelyn felt no victory, only pain. The eyes of hundreds had witnessed her heartbreak. Yet, deep inside, she also felt relief. Michael, on the other hand, disappeared. Rumors said he returned to town in shame. Others claimed his wife had confronted him, threatening to leave. For weeks, he sent Evelyn endless messages. "Please forgive me. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to love you too. We can still make it work. Let me explain." But Evelyn never replied. She had seen all she needed to see. His explanations were nothing compared to the truth that had already stood before her in flesh and blood, his wife and his children. 2 months later, Evelyn slowly began rebuilding her life. She returned to work at the pharmacy, though her colleagues looked at her with pity. Meanwhile, Michael's true colors began to spread. Stories leaked that he had promised marriage to not just Evelyn, but 2 other women in different states. He was a man who lived by deceit, enjoying the admiration of women until the lies caught up with him. His wife had finally left him after years of deceit. She filed reports with women he had duped, and together they took their case to the authorities. Michael had been promising marriage to unsuspecting women, extorting money in the name of preparations, and abandoning them afterward. The scandal spread quickly, and Michael's name was on everyone's lips. The man who once stood proudly walked into court in handcuffs, his head hanging low. Women from different states came forward with the same story, how he promised them marriage, took their money, and left them in pain. The evidence was clear, and the life of lies he had built finally came crashing down. The judge's gavel came down like thunder, sealing Michael's fate. 5 years behind bars, not just for fraud, but for the thrill of broken hearts he had left behind. In that moment, the smooth talker who once fooled so many was reduced to a prisoner, paying the price for every lie he had told. When Evelyn heard the news, though still healing, she felt a strange mix of emotions, thanking God she has escaped before becoming another victim in his web. If you enjoyed this story, don't just leave yet. Subscribe and join our growing family of story lovers. More powerful tales and more life lessons are waiting for you here. Until the next story, stay inspired.